Hi, Dave. Yeah, it's me, Dan. Yeah, I've got there. I'm at the top of the mountain now. Yeah. So where is it that Erwin Creed said he wants to meet me up here for this interview? I can't see him. Yeah, I'm just at the top, like you said. Anyway, why does he want? Why does he have to meet me at the top of a mountain anyway? I don't understand it. What do you mean you were joking? What, Erwin Creed doesn't want to meet me up here? There's no interview. Why did you? Why the hell did you send me up here? To get me in the mood for the Silver Mountain Water review? You bloody idiot! Bloody idiot! Bloody idiot! Oh shit! Sorry. Welcome to another review, and today we're going to be looking at Silver Mountain Water by the House of Creed, and we're going to be looking at two viable alternatives to that fragrance, two clones if you like, that are both interesting and worth checking out. So let's get straight into it. Let's talk first of all about Creed's Silver Mountain Water. I've only got a decant of this one, not a full bottle, but I've been using it for a while, and I think I've come to form an opinion on this one. So Creed's Silver Mountain Water was released back in the year 1995. That was 1 year after CK1, and also 1 year after L'Odyssée pour Homme. And I think that's significant that there was a little bit of a trend in the market by the mid-90s towards somewhat transparent, aquatic, fresh type scents, and away from some of the older, more traditional styles for which Creed was probably known at that time. If you think back to the early 90s, at that time, probably almost certainly the flagship fragrance in Creed's line was Green Irish Tweed from back in 1985. Other things they had around at that time, stuff like Neroli Sauvage from 1994 was one of their releases before they did this one, and that again was a traditional men's or women's cologne style fragrance. So maybe this was Creed's attempt to have something a little bit more avant-garde, and some people have called this even an abstract kind of fragrance. So what's it supposed to smell like? Well, this fragrance is called Silver Mountain Water, and it's supposed to evoke the smell and the feeling of fresh water running down the Swiss mountains and picking up some of the smells of the minerals and the herbs and the flowers that one might find there. So let's get into the notes. Okay, so I'm going from what the Creed website says. Top notes on this one are bergamot, mandarin and neroli. In the mid we've got green tea, blackcurrant and something described as sea scent. And in the base we have sandalwood and musk. Other places on the internet also list galbanum. I've even heard labdanum mentioned and petitgrain, depending where you look. So quite a lot of different notes. So the overall thing there should be a fresh, citrusy kind of scent in the opening with some herbalness, that green tea thing, and blackcurrant. So a little bit fruity, a little bit herbal, a little bit citrus, and maybe something a bit aquatic with the so-called sea scent in there. So let's see how it smells. I've been using it for a while, but I'm just going to remind myself. Here we go. Creed Silver Mountain Water. 2 sprays. Yeah, lovely, fresh, pleasant opening. A little bit of citrus, but not very, very sharp, overpowering kind of citrus dominant openings. It's somewhat citrusy, but immediately somewhat fruity and herbal, and that kind of tea note is quite evident even in the opening. It's a really pleasant scent. It's very much a unisex scent. It's very versatile. It smells like the kind of scent that would go with a crisp white, or in my case, pink shirt today. And so when you're looking clean, when you're feeling fresh, probably a daytime scent, more so than a nighttime scent, but could work in the nighttime too. It feels like it's a spring kind of scent, maybe summer to some extent, and fall would be fine. In the depths of winter, you probably would find this a little bit weak and transparent. However, you could wear it all year round. It's super versatile, great for work, great for dates, whether you're a man or a woman, and it's just never going to offend anybody. Some things like Green Irish Tweed by Creed, Aventus, my favourite Bois de Portugal. A lot of people like them, but they're not going to be to everybody's taste. Things in Green Irish Tweed, it's a little bit green, it's a little bit almost aggressive in its greenness. This one doesn't have that problem. Aventus, smoky pineapple works for a lot of people. Some people might find it a little bit much. And some of them more old school fragrances, again, might not appeal to everybody. This one has almost nothing that anybody could object to, and much that we could find agreeable. So what we've got here is a really pleasant, modern, somewhat avant-garde kind of scent that is fresh and clean and conjures up the image of those Swiss mountains perhaps, or some kind of outdoor fresh scenario, but without being a traditional citrus cologne. It's a bit more of that 90s or even 2000s kind of feel with this one, to compete with some of the popular designer scents out there, I think. It was David Bowie's favourite scent, apparently, and it does conjure up that kind of image of perhaps someone who's a bit artistic, someone a little bit modern, a little bit difficult to define. This one's difficult to really define and say exactly what we've got. The nice, fresh, modernistic kind of scent. Very much a scent that looked forward towards the 21st century rather than looking back to the old days of classic 70s colognes and before that. For me, this one is an 8 out of 10. I like it, but I don't love it. It's not my favourite Creed scent. I respect what it does. I think it's very good. I'd like to smell it on other people, men or women. Really good choice if you can afford it, just for a workhorse for daytime when you can't think of what to wear and you just want to smell fresh and appealing. And just a little bit intriguing with the herbal stuff and the blackcurrant. There's no aggressive woodiness or anything like that. There's a little bit of muskiness in there. You might reach for it a little bit in the same mood with things like Millesime Imperial by Creed, that kind of thing. So one definitely to check out. But the problem with this one is it's expensive, and some people say the performance is not amazing. I personally have found that the performance is what I would classify as medium. I have 4 categories now. I have light performance, medium, strong and beast mode. I would say it's medium. It doesn't project really strongly, but you will get wafts of it throughout the day, and it does last well on the skin. It has a little bit of a tiny bit of a Creed ambergris dry down, I think, although that note is not listed. There's that DNA of Creed. I think Stephen from Redolescence mentioned it in his review of this one, where things like Millesime Imperial and Green Ice Tweed have something in common with this one in the dry down, just that sort of Creed-esque note that's difficult to describe if you haven't smelled it. I think it's something to do with the ambergris. This one has just a touch of that as it goes on throughout the day. Longevity, quite good, so it's medium performance, not amazing. Alternatives then. We've all heard of the first one, probably, if we're fragrance interested type people. Silver by Al Rehab. This is incredibly cheap. I got 2 bottles of this online, sent to me for about £7. They're 35ml bottles each, so I guess that's like one medium or large size bottle for about £7. This one smells a hell of a lot like Silver Mountain Water. That's the first thing that I'm going to say. That's a clean tester strip. Okay. Yeah, again, really nice citrus opening. Very fresh. A little bit more citrusy and sharp than the Silver Mountain Water, I think. And it smells 80, 85, 90% similar. It doesn't quite have the complexity I find of the Creed one, which gives you little wafts of something different now and again. This for me is a little bit like they took a digital copy of the Creed fragrance and just reduced it to its essentials and made it into almost like a monotone note. One monotone kind of note that just does a great job of copying it, but perhaps lacks some of the complexity. Performance on this one, again, I would call it medium. It's perfectly okay. It's called an eau de parfum, as is the Creed one, but it behaves more like an eau de toilette. That's okay, as does the Creed fragrance, in fact. So longevity, decent. Quality of the scent, very, very close. Perhaps a bit less of that tea note that you get in the Creed fragrance, and it doesn't quite have that Creed ambergris type of DNA in the dry down. So a little bit more simplistic, but a very, very good copy, and you might even prefer it if you just find that some of the things in the Creed one don't appeal to you, like the herbal tea thing. This is a great option. The price is amazing, and again, I'd probably give it a 7.5. It's just shy of having the complexity of the Creed fragrance, but for the money and an average performance and a nice likeable fresh smell that you can spray willy-nilly because it's so cheap, a really good fragrance and a great alternative to the Creed one if, like me, you don't find that Creed fragrance full bottle worthy. So what's the other alternative then? Well, here's the third one, and it's time to get controversial because it's from Dua Fragrances, and this one is called Water of Arabia. Yes, they did send this to me for free, and they sent me 3 fragrances. They sent me this one, Royal Elixir, and then Evening with the Mobster. I've heard all about the controversy with Dua Fragrances. I don't know all the details. I don't think there's anything wrong with people sending YouTube people free samples or bottles to review, but I do think it's best that we say so. I won't let that influence my appraisal of the fragrances too much. I've had it a while, so it's not a first impression, and I've used a fair bit. I have sent a bit of this one out to other friends in the fragrance community for them to check it out. So yeah, just bear in mind, I did get it for free. That does not influence my opinion of it too much, but who knows, subconsciously it may make me more inclined to like it. It could be possible, but I really think I'm trying to give you an honest opinion. I think that's what you're going to get from me here. So this one, let's see how it smells. Again, the company are pretty much open in saying that this is supposed to be their version of Silver Mountain Water. What they look to do, they told me, is with these ones where they're replicating other scents, they look to give you pretty much the same smell as far as possible, but they look to improve the performance. So this one is a parfum extract, which means it's the next level up in strength and concentration from eau de parfum. So it should be really strong. Very good spray comes out of that one. Presentation is okay on these, a bit basic, but it's fine. I've got no real complaints. They're a new company. And you get 30 mils there for a price of, I think it's $45 or whatever that translates to in pounds. This one definitely opens with a bit more sharp citrus, but it's very, very similar. I've worn it a lot. It dries down to a very, very similar smell. It's very close, okay? Basically, the difference is I don't think it perhaps has that Creed ambergris type of thing, and just maybe a touch less of the herbal tea stuff and a bit more of the citrus, which a lot of people might prefer that because the citrus sharpness is what a lot of us like. And I find that the top note and the opening on this one stays around longer. It's more linear. I don't think that it changes that much. So if like a lot of people, you really love the opening on fragrances, this one could be a great option. The performance also, I would just nudge it up from the medium category to strong. Good or strong. Not beast mode by any means, but good. It lasts a bit longer. It does last longer. I've done the test where I've had one on each arm in bed, and this one made it through the night, as did I, fortunately, that night. And I think it's got a great longevity, actually. So longevity really good, and the projection is good. It's not beast mode, but it's good. So what they've done is they've made it one louder, and they've got very close to copying the smell. It's just a little bit more sharp and citrusy, in my opinion, which could be a good thing, or it could be a bad thing if you're a real aficionado of Creed and you love Silver Mountain Water's aroma. So again, with this one, I'd probably go with an 8 out of 10. The negative is that it doesn't have all the exact same notes of the Creed Silver Mountain Water, but it's very close. I mean, you really have to think about it and dig in to notice that. But the positive is it just has a slightly improved performance. So I think Duo Fragrances in this instance have done a pretty good job. The price on this one is reasonable for 30 mils of extract de parfum. I wonder if maybe they could do some different sizes. Would we prefer 50 mils or 60 mils to 30 mils as a different option? Especially with a fresh one like this that you might use in daytime and squirt quite a lot of. Anyway, good fragrance. For me, this Duo fragrance is worth your money if you like Creed Silver Mountain Water, but you want a bit better performance. Okay, so as with some of the recent videos, I've asked for the opinion of a fragrant friend, this time over in America, and it's Patrick, who was in one of the other videos. He's got Water of Arabia, Silver Mountain Water, and our Rehab Silver, and here's what he thinks about all three of them. Water of Arabia is one winner from Duo in my book. It's a Silver Mountain Water on steroids minus the tea note. Projects and lasts longer than Silver Mountain Water and is fruitier and heavier than Silver Mountain Water, which comes as lighter and somewhat fresher. I still prefer slightly Silver Mountain Water over Water of Arabia and sometimes layer them together, which blends perfectly. I own our Rehab 2, which is closely similar as well to Silver Mountain Water, but the metallic note on our Rehab is so prominent that distinguishes it easily in comparison to Silver Mountain Water. So that's what Patrick thought, and I tend to agree with most of what he said. All three very good fragrances, great for daytime, pretty versatile for any situation. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to be doing a beast mode list soon, and I've got a little trick that I'm doing with an Aventus clone plus something else, which I'm going to call Super Aventus. So look out for that one, and some more dark wintry autumn scents coming up really soon, plus some new purchases that I made that I'm excited to share with you. Remember, whatever we're doing in life, let's project, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.